Thanks for staying with us. In this conversation, we're moving now to how to handle regrets, or should you even have regrets at all? Someone who doesn't like to use the words what if, because I've come to an understanding that it's always greener on the other side. And whatever decision I make, I want to own it with my full chest. I want to stay with the consequences. I want to stay with the outcomes and work with what I have to make my life better instead of constantly looking over. So let me give you an instance. It may not be related, but something close. There was a time I had an opportunity to go to the UK, to relocate to the UK when I was still very young for modeling, right? They had sorted me with a fashion house in the UK. You know, they had started processing the documents that was needed for me to relocate. But I didn't go because of what? Man. I'm telling you, now God saved me. Thank God he married me. Now God saved me. I didn't go because of man. And I sit back, one day it crossed my head and I'm like, would I have been happy being a fashion model? Maybe got into, by the grace of God, to maybe the level of Agbani Derego or Lucci, who are international models and all of that, with probably not having a home and a lovely man like this person. Or am I better off that I took this decision? But whatever the case is, I'm not looking at, maybe I would have been happier if I was a fashion model and all of that. I'm working with what I have, and I'm grateful for where I am, and I'm grateful for the decisions that I took. I may not have, taken the decisions clear-eyed, or how would I say it? I may not have had all the blocks. Sometimes you take decisions, you don't see the future. Nobody sees the future. You just go with your gut feeling. And I went with my gut feeling, and I'm grateful for going this way. I don't think back, now wow, what if?
But if we're being
or maybe,
realistic,
maybe
5 years ago.
Yeah, no, maybe if the marriage wasn't so good.
10 years ago, which is very early in marriage. And very early in marriage, 5 years into marriage is always the rocky season. We're happy, but we're like, we have plenty, we're seeing all the weaknesses. 5 years ago, you probably would think about it and be like, was it a good decision? And over time, it is a very good decision. I am happy with it. Well, I'm not saying it concerning you. I'm saying that usually, when we go back to regrets, we will not be able to see the joy. We'll not be able to see the opportunity of where we are. We will lose sight of the good things that are happening around us because we are thinking about what we felt we missed. But if you just keep focusing on oiling or working and growing yourself, this same girl that a 30-year-old man is flaunting one babe to, you would marry a young contemporary person, you grow your wealth together, or you marry a wealthy person. 5 years down the line, you'll be like, thank God I did not marry that.
You make a video and send to him.
So regret will cost you. It will cost you present joy and future opportunities. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of regret at all. I'm an optimist that feels like I'm not going to go back and I can't change the past, but I can make my future better. But if I look at regret, it will cost me future opportunities.
Yeah. And it is important to learn from the experiences and the mistakes you made. So even if you feel regret, you must get to a point where you ask yourself, what did I do wrong? How do I avoid such mistakes from happening again, right? And I think there are a lot of people live in the past. So rather than them moving forward to achieve other things, they end up staying and wishing that if I had made a decision 10 years ago, and because of that, they are unable to move forward and achieve other things in life, right? And for the lady that got married, that said she was 22, I remember when I was on campus, I was in my second year, there was this guy I met, and the next thing, he came to me. First time meeting him, he said, I want to marry you.
Straight up.
Nay, I ran away.
Why?
I ran because I was young. My life was just starting. How do you want to come and... I never experienced life. You now want to come and use marriage. You didn't even say, I like you, I want to date. You want to marry straight.
No.
That's what someone would have wanted.
And the guy was doing well, very okay, rich, everything, right? But I said, for me, I think there is more to life.
Yeah.
Let me explore and make a decision by myself.
An informed
Let me
decision.
see options and now say by myself, I'm not the one I want. Right? So I think that for younger girls, yes, there's the pressure of, it's better as you finish school, just get married. But life life is happening. And if you're clouded with the little that you know from one campus, one state, when you are able to see men from South Africa, from UK, from London, from
Ghana,
Asia,
the world is big, oh. There are many fishermen.
Yes, you
like
now say,
point and kill.
And again, it's not one person you can marry in this life.
At
Exactly.
all. I agree with you.
You know, talking about it's not one person that you can marry in this life. There are so many opportunities that you can explore to excel. So when you are regretting one action, you're just totally wasting your time unless you have not fully discovered your own potential to see how
you're
you
meant
can,
to be doing.
yeah, so how you can apply yourself. You don't have just one talent now. You can do so many other things. So by the time you start regretting and say, I should have done this, I should have done that, it then clouds your creativity, your creative mind that you cannot see the future. And that brings me to, I'm going to cite some entertainers as examples. You'll find some entertainers blaming their record labels for making them go broke. Oh, you did not give me, you did not pay me my
This and
royalties,
that, yeah.
you did not do this, you did not do that. Oh, you stole my song. Okay, they stole your song. Sing another one now.
Let's not even go there.
You're a talented person. Sing, don't just wallow in that regret and think that your life cannot take up from there. There are so many opportunities to excel, so don't box yourself. And Auntie Alhaji, I'm sure it's the money that you miss, but you are a fine girl. The picture that I saw, and she's also, is it Hajia? So you will definitely find so many other men that
So you know,
spread the
to
money.
every decision, there are pros and there are cons, always advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of marrying a young person, and there are also disadvantages of marrying a young person. Likewise, an older person. But I think that a lot of women don't consider the disadvantages for marrying an older person at all, especially if the person is wealthy. They just, shebi there's money. I'll be able to take care of myself. I'll just, you know, I'll have that peace. I can fly to Dubai today, fly to this person tomorrow. But not realizing that if anything happens, everybody prays for good health, right? Which can also happen to a young person. But anything happens and the person is no longer able to give your children that energy for raising, because every child or children in families are supposed to have that collaborative energy from both mommy and daddy to raise them. But this man is now too old. Maybe when the last born is coming, he's already over 70. He can no longer change diaper. He can no longer play with the child at that level. And then the child is left to be raised with. No, so some persons get to that point and they start regretting. That's what I'm saying. They don't think through that this can happen. How do I shore up myself?
How would my 60-year-old husband be at the first-year party of my child?
Yeah, exactly.
How can my husband and I go for the a one-year birthday party of my peers?
Yes.
Like there's no, he's not related.
There's no connect.
You look like grandpa.
Exactly.
Whose grandpa came here?
Yeah.
And that can also, we don't see that far.
We don't see that far.
We're
That's
always
what I'm
focusing
saying.
on.
I think
softer
it's
side.
just you. Sorry to interrupt you, Toby. I think it's just the way you think. There are so many people that do not care about. Look at Regina Daniels and her husband. The age gap, the look, everything, like
And they're holding each other
their
going
mouths,
everywhere.
but they are doing lovey-dovey. In fact, when they post any story about her, if you go through the comment section, you see people saying that this is the only person that has
made a wise
the
decision.
wisest decision. Regina Daniels made the wisest decision.
she married money.
Hey, they were not saying we are sorry. Regina, we are sorry. We should not have bashed you. So there was,
Marry love.
Toby,
Please.
Toby saying my beloved.
No, sweetheart, hold on. Let's take this call. I'll come back to you, ladies. Aziz, good morning, Aziz.
Yeah,
Love.
good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We're doing amazing.
Yeah. Pertaining to what you people are discussing, my father-in-law, he got married to a lady who my wife is even 2 years older than. And this my father-in-law happens to use a whole 34 years older than the lady. But now I think the lady is doing well in his house because my mother-in-law and the other woman, which is the one that is behind my mother-in-law, they are now treating this particular girl as a daughter. Because this lady now has 3 kids. And then I know my father-in-law because he's as a man-to-man, we discuss at times like based on man, like this man do tell me that the way this he does not regret marrying this lady because this lady really keep him intact with the other women, because those other women are old, they are above 50, and then he was not able to look outside due to this younger lady is having around him. And now this lady we are talking about, this man was able to take care of him, that this lady is controlling over $20 million business for now. And she's married, she's happy. And if I should tell you how this marriage happened, just like, okay, my friend is going to Ilorin, assist me in taking my younger sister along. That's how they hook up and something leads to marriage.
And the rest is
This your father-in-law is a sharp guy.
No, it's vice versa. You know, so look at now, my younger sister again, he got married to two different silly guys who are not even ready for the marriage. And now the people coming to her now, this was something we discussed last week, that it's the older men that are coming to her that they want a hand in marriage. I was not like, how old are these people calling? Because I do see you calling during the night and days. And I said, some are even older than our dad. I said, hey, what is the big deal in it? My own father-in-law got married to somebody who is even younger than our own daughter. So you two get married if the man that has money.
Does your father-in-law have money?
off the mic, off the mic.
The money is there. No,
The money is there.
Yes. What's the money?
They say, take our daughter to Ilorin, your wife.
For now.
Father-in-law.
So, please.
Drive the girl to school, you turn her to wife.
I'm telling
you are not
you.
saying it's exciting you. The other ones are old.
Yeah.
Those old women too are taking this one as daughter. Let me take care of my husband. You are taking care of our husband.
Wow.
It's a different world.
Do you know the funny thing? My grandpa, I mentioned on the show that my mom has 18 younger ones. So when my mom was giving birth, my grandpa was also still giving birth. So one of my aunts, if I say auntie, she said, I better not call me Auntie Joy, you want to embarrass me. But because we're like age mates, right? And when you spoke about the fact that if your husband and yourself go for a 1-year-old birthday, you cannot relate. But there are people that don't have their children early. So there was this person I got to know, was a colleague of my mom. He had his first child when he was 57. And that party was, they had waited on God for...
It was a landmark.
So it was a festival. Like they really went, and everybody, my mom, who would normally not go for a child's birthday, went, and it was, hot like that. So there's some cases where even though you feel it's not relatable, until you hear their stories, you would now put yourself in that position to relate.
Yeah.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I just think people should do what works for them.
Yeah.
If it's an older man that works for you, by all means, do not think about what the society would think. Go for it and be happy. If you think it's the younger one that it works for you, go for it and just be happy. So do not let society decide for you what is right or what is wrong. There's no right template for who to choose to marry in terms of age brackets. Just get your values right and choose right and pray to God to lead you.
Yeah, but what is the role of the family in this case? So sometimes you bring a man home and the family will say, no, this one that is older than your father, why do you want to bring this kind of person? But then you are always attracted to people who are your father's age. I was reading something recently, it was online, and they were saying that sometimes women who marry older men, like 20, 30, 40 years older than them, have father issues, daddy issues. There's a form of insecurity that's attached to probably they didn't have a very good relationship, and so they are seeking out their father in their husband. So how do you determine who has father issues and who is seeking out, who is trying to make the man a father in the ages of the people that they pick? So are we saying now that anybody who is attracted to very older men, we have to start checking you that you don't have father issues?
Honestly, you know what Oye said already sort of asserts that for some people, their daddy issues are their reality and they should be allowed to exploit. And like you said, you're not stuck with it. The fact that you've married an older person, if you feel that your life is not fulfilled or that you made a wrong decision or things are not living up to the expectation that you have, you can move on. You know
you can leave the marriage.
You can no. I mean, I'm not against divorce. If your life is threatened, and sometimes our emotions, the fact that you are emotionally being drained and you're in a toxic place or you're not feeling, you can't blossom, is a place for you to live. So you are married, but we're going to manage the marriage until you're in your 60s, and then, or you're in your 50s, you discover you have cancer. And we know what cancer is, based on protracted negative emotion for a very long time, that you have held on to something you should not be holding on to. Let it go quickly and move on. Your life is far ahead of you, and it is not defined by marriage.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Bright from Ago, and then we'll wrap up the topic. Good morning, Bright.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, concerning the topic on ground, I just came in not quite long, but I want to turn the table around, and I like you all to be sincere. The question is this: you all are married, I know, and would you have your son marry a lady that is 10 years older than your son? I'd like you all to be sincere, because I actually heard, I heard that age is not an issue when it comes to marriage. Yes, I heard all of you say that, but I just want to turn the table around a bit. Would you have your sons marry a lady who is older than him with 10 years? I want you guys to be sincere. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have had the conversation with my son on this. Yes, we're in the US, and went to a seafood place. We're just having a conversation. My sister was there. We were having a conversation, and he was, I've forgotten what brought about the topic, and he was like, Mom, is there anything wrong if my wife is older than me? I first pinched myself. I said, it's not as serious. Mommy, I just want to know, is there anything wrong if I bring a woman who is older than me to marry? I said, but why do you want to marry? He said, no, I may love her and I want to marry her. Is there anything wrong? I dodged responding to that question. But I know that at the end of the day, I will not be the one to tell him what he wants. I'll just look out, and I explained some things. I said, one of the reasons parents don't want women or men to marry women that are older than them is because even your age mates, as a boy and a girl, the girls mature faster. This has been scientifically proven. The girls are more ready for certain type of things, while the boys are still in that boyish mode, playful mode and all of that. Girls mature really faster. Now, if your age mate, you can't even marry your age mate, you know that you are more mature as a girl than the man. Except in few cases where the men are really mature, maybe upbringing or just destiny or however it is. But then you now marry your own age mate as a boy is more mature than you, right? The girl counterpart is more mature than you. Then you marry a girl that is 10 years older than you. Just check the gap of the maturity. And I feel like you may be maltreated in the marriage. You're just dealing with somebody who is more manipulative, more cunning, more smart. Women, we have all these things. Let's not deceive ourselves. We were born with them, right? And it's always scary for the mother to say, are you sure my son will not be suffering certain things? So I left the conversation there, but I know that he will still ask me. That my boy is very curious. He will still ask me. But when he gets to that age and it's what he decides, I'm not going to stop his happiness because I feel he should marry someone who is younger than you. You have 3 boys.
Yes, so I do have 3 boys. All I do when I think about my kids is to just send prayer ahead into
the future
that they're going to bring me daughters, amazing women, and I'll be a wonderful mother-in-law to them. But the reality is, the journey of being a parent never ends. Even when they have children, you're looking over them and looking over their children. You want everything to turn out right for them. But the response, they have their own life. And would I be concerned if my kids come up with an older woman to marry? Yes, I will be concerned. Would I stop them? No, I won't. I would do my part, which is support with prayer, and prepare them to be able to make smart decisions. So I know that if I've prepared my children to make smart decisions, whatever the decision is, I'll be comfortable with it because I know they've thought through it. Because I've already given them the skill of critical thinking. When we go back to this topic, though, talking about marrying an older man, marrying an older woman now, to just put a bit of balance to it. BC established why people are scared of marrying older women, because people are scared that the older women will be more cunning and manipulative. But older men are that way too. Why do older men go for younger girls? Because they can, not just excitement, I can dominate. There is no threat whatsoever of you being rude or talking back to me. There is a clear, defined, I am the man. 30 years older than you, 20 years older than you, you will worship the ground I walk. You will bring me the food and...
To the bed.
You know, all those kind of things are not... It's not a contemporary conversation anymore. It is because I am older. So the ego of the man is being stroked by the fact that I have a younger girl. Once she's young, she's pretty, she's exciting. And then she would worship the ground I walk on and providing for all her needs. So it also satisfies that cunning, manipulative nature of... So whatever, once you bring in an older person who has more experience... The dynamics that will be different, except the younger person knows what I'm going for. In which case, on this table, we seem to have accepted the fact that if there's money, we can turn the other eye when we marry a person. Because there are several, we are complimenting, what's her name? Regina. We know the popular...
Which people are complimenting?
Even our president.
Nigerians.
The people
Social
in the
media
comment
is
section,
complimenting.
yeah.
We know our former president is 81, official age 81, and the wife is 52. So that's over 30-year difference. I heard about Abidoye to able to a big age difference.
I did not gist to people. You know my father has a girlfriend.
You told me. I know that.
He went to pay something.
Are you serious?
Yes, last weekend something.
That's what we're talking
Is
about.
the girlfriend like our...
Yes, now.
The babe?
Yeah, we're older.
Just a little.
She should be like 30 now.
My goodness.
Yes, I senior am.
Wow.
By far.
Maybe Papa
So let me
just
explain
needs
the
some
complexity
kind of
of that.
Please
excitement.
explain, Biko.
My son met his cousin, and she was like, Auntie, it came from Norway. I said, she's your cousin. Your dad is her nephew. So she's a niece to your dad. I say, how does that happen? Like, she's way old. Why? Because your daddy was born very young. He's older.
We're already giving birth
before my dad was born. It's complex in relationship explanation. That you will start saying that you are my younger one, but my children are older than you. I have grandchildren that are older than you, but you are my younger sister.
I have aunties I'm older than. Two aunties I'm older than. How are they my aunties when I'm older than them? You know, because when my grandfather was still giving birth, my father had started birthing.
When he was in active service.
I'm telling you.
Very confusing word. You hear he's shim, he's them, he's they, he's now his auntie, his cousin, his first cousin, nephew, your... don't confuse me. Let's keep it simple.
This matter of love and woman and relationship matter is quite complicated. We cannot really dissect it and fully exhaust it. People would still do what they want to do. If a 70-year-old man sees a 22-year-old girl and says, baby girl, I like you, there's nothing the society can do about it. And that's why we keep having, kids that are older than their aunties and uncles here and there. So taking it back to that question that the last caller asked about, if we would allow our sons to marry an older woman. I personally would not allow it. Yes.
If he decides and he insists that this is the person I love, what would you do?
If he decides, and well, maybe I can, because his happiness
should be
paramount. It's paramount. But if I see danger, both of us will put legs inside the same trouser.
You'll be warning the wife back to back.
Exactly. And then even if the wife, the older woman, was supposed to be my sister, I would not allow her marry my son. Because what do they want to be doing in that kind of a marriage? Because the man is expected to be the leader.
To visit France?
Look, I'm even coming to that. Then, if you look at Emmanuel Macron and his wife, look at that age difference. Now the woman is looking so aged. Macron is there looking very, dapper and tapping. It's just not. It's not giving what he should give. And I do not want my son to end up with that kind of.
Let me pause you. We have a Reggie from Agege. Good morning, Reggie.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Ladies. We're doing amazing.
First of all, let me just go straight to the point. To me, in this present 21st century, I don't see anything wrong in having...
Speak up a bit, please. I can hardly hear you.
I said in this 21st century, I don't see anything wrong, getting married to a lady getting married to a guy who is younger than. I don't see anything wrong with it. As long as they find joy, happiness, they're good. I had some relationship I was supposed to keep long ago. And you people know this. I won't mention the name, but the person presently is a public figure. she's 10 years young. She's 10 years older than the guy.
Oh.
Presently.
Wow.
And they are happy. And I told, I called, I never knew that she was this old like that. I was older than her. But now she got married to somebody who she is far, far older than. But I'm happy for them. As long as they find joy and happiness.
And happiness, yeah.
No, yeah, that is what matters. So whoever is coming into into such, to just be prayerful, like what she said, just be prayerful. You know, I have an uncle who is almost my age. When I ask my
uncle. We always have them.
My mom would tell me that this is my cousin. This is her cousin. And I look and said, your cousin? She said yes. That means she's my uncle. She said yes. I said, okay, no problem. I've gotten into physical combat with him from years ago. That is very hard. I mean, having a car, right? I see this guy, and one day, yeah, you go rack, and I will beat you. I look at my face, my uncle. I will beat you blue black.
Wow.
But I still give him his respect because he's my mom's cousin. Wow. And I wouldn't want to, take that away from him.
So that's prayer. There's no templates for anything.
I have a friend who is not yet married, but she says that all the guys that come at her are usually younger than her. Oh. And so when it gets to the age conversation, she's like, no, I don't want. And as a result of that, she's still unmarried.
Why is she attracting them, though?
Do you see? So
maybe that's her destiny.
I'm telling you, she didn't tap in.
Yeah. So this is a revelation.
Yes, so
let us give some people victory.
There's some ladies that their families or even themselves have the mindset of saying that I can never marry somebody older than me or younger than me. And that's the age is just a number that
we talked about.
You believe in. And there's also the family question where it is that the husband or the boyfriend and the girlfriend would actually hide their age from the family.
Yes, so that they will not
go through the process. Yes, they agree within themselves that this thing, let's keep it a secret. You know, when she goes, good afternoon, everybody just thinks that.
But you'll be able to tell.
No, you can't tell.
Sometimes you can't tell.
You can't tell.
So by the time they now go through that process, most times I found out that a couple, the parents found out when they were about to sign the marriage register.
The real age.
They can't see age. They can't see age.
What's going on?
Was this a mistake?
What a call.
And the boy was like, no, mommy, it's the real age. We'll talk about it later. But you see that at that point, it was
there was no going back. They could have done.
So there are cases like that also that the boyfriend and girlfriend would have to use wisdom to go through the process.
So we have a caller, Mark Anthony from Abulegba. Good morning, Mark Anthony.
Yeah, good morning.
You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. I really appreciate you people effort. I always love the topic. It's just that sometimes when you try, I don't get you people. And I want to say something about the topic. See, there is nothing wrong in anybody marrying somebody older than you. It depends how you define the marriage, how you define where you are going to, because marriage is just a destiny or a destination. So I see, like, I want to take an example. I'm marrying somebody that I'm older than 10 years. But the way we are relating in the house, and the reason I'm marrying the person is because I didn't want to marry somebody that's younger than me. Yeah, I wanted to marry somebody that is of that age so that we can flow. I discovered that my wife sometimes we have her say, let me use the word. Sometimes, my wife will say something, so funny. Me, I will say it back to her. It's not like that. It's all about maturity. It's not just age. But as I am, I cannot marry somebody that is young, is too young for me. That is the truth. Maybe I'm 85. I cannot marry somebody that is 18. No, I will not flow. Let me use the word. Let me marry somebody that is almost the age bracket so that we can flow. That is the truth. I don't advise anybody marry for instance, a lady that is maybe 18, you are marrying somebody that is 40. Sorry to say, you will not flow because there are some things you're supposed to do. The pain will look at it, it's installed. You cannot flow. Let me use the word. That is just my contribution. It's not all about age. It's all about what you want.
Yeah, I like that. You know that this issue came up during my own marriage. My father-in-law was of the opinion that a man must be 10 years older than the wife, right? And when my age came up, like, a guy is just 2 years older. You know, women have a way of looking older in future.
But right now, babe, you are 16 now.
Sweetie, I had to take care of myself. First of all, I'm blessed with good genes.
Exactly, you're an exception to the rule.
And, you know, I am deliberate about taking care of myself, because I don't want them to say, hey, but we told you now that she will now yakap and be looking older than you in a few years' time after having children. So sometimes, and he insisted that this is the person I want. And also, a matter of respect came in. Will she be able to respect you? Will she I don't respect you because of age. I respect you when you respect me, because you are my husband, because you are, I respect everybody. My house helps, I respect, you know. So for me, it's not about the age difference. I had another person come into the family who was, the difference is about 6-7 years. She's so disrespectful, even though they had taken over 7 years from her age. And I'm like, I told my husband, I said, have I ever in our entire life spoken to you?
Yeah.
He said, no.
I am shocked. It's who you are.
I am sure. And I say, you know, in village meeting, all of us will sit down together. I used to yap my husband. I say, in village meeting, we are age mate. We'll sit down on the same table.
In the same group.
Age grade. We'll sit down on the same table. So for me, it's about knowing what you want. Absolutely. And respecting your head. As a woman, you should respect your head. Whether you're older than the woman, you're making more.
Based on our culture.
Based on our culture. Even any other culture. The cultures that have survived. Yes. So far, in terms of marriage and family, always have this respect dynamic that's working. It's those ones that want to do cocoa head. I cannot respect my husband because I'm making more money. That usually fall into that.
But Toby was going to provide deliverance for some people.
So those young women,
forget it.
Toby, tell us, those young women.
She mentioned it and passed, and I want us to go back there, because somebody watching right now is about to be delivered.
Amen.
Yes. Amen. You have been attracting
young people,
men, or you are attracting younger men. Do not let the fact that this, if they have been coming consistently within the same age range, please marry.
Please, before don't lower your standards. Excuse me, darling. Let's take this call. Then I'll come to you before people start fighting about standards.
I did not go to standard. Don't go to standard.
Good morning,
Good morning
to all the ladies in the studio.
Morning.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, the truth is that I, as a person, I cannot marry somebody that is older than me. Okay. I'm older than my wife, and I will not allow my son to marry any lady that is older than them.
You can't stop him, sir. He's your son. He has the right to his own life.
It is my son. No, yes, he has his own life, but I won't agree to that kind of marriage. From the place I came from, from the place I came from, we respect age. We respect age. Like Ogbomoso, I came from Ogbomoso and Ijebu-Ode. We respect age. So you understand? Because if you now marry somebody, a lady that is older than you, you can't be a man. Honestly, you can't be a man in that marriage. You can't have control of that marriage, because there are some things. Because there are some things the lady will do. If you just try to remember her age, you will not want to take the action, the responsible action you need to take. And that is the reason why I will not allow my son to marry somebody that is older than him. I won't.
So if your son insists, you will not go for the wedding, you will not bless the marriage. Is that what you're saying?
I won't go for the wedding, no. I'm telling you, I won't go for the wedding. Honestly, I won't allow my son to marry.
How old is your son now?
Do you have children now? Do you have a son now?
Well, in fact, by the grace of God, I'm the grandfather of 4.
Okay, you've already passed the level.
Married. The first child is about 10 years old.
Different world.
Yeah, it's a different world.
The first son is about 10 years old.
Okay.
So,
I understand.
And he married somebody that is older.
I get you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, Mr. Shola. Thank you. Thank you.
She was saying standard. I was saying
start with
standard.
Your advice
yes,
first.
I was saying standard. But what I was going to say is that lower your requirements. All of us, or most of us, would have said, tall, dark, handsome. That's the requirement I had in choosing the person I wanted to marry. I'm talking about the age.
Okay.
So some people may have said tall, dark, and some. We find out that today, short, fat,
just make me happy.
you know, that we now eventually
ended up with.
So, and I think that comes from a place of knowing that aside the physical look, aside age as a number, there are other things that we need to look out for in choosing our spouses.
So that lower your standard, Auntie?
No, she has repackaged it. For me, I do not believe in lowering your standards because you will just be setting yourself up for breakfast. They will just break your heart because they can sense the desperation in you when you lower your standards. Okay. What you want is what you want. Okay. If it comes, fine. If it doesn't come, well,
can you settle?
Fine.
Can you compromise?
I cannot settle. I cannot compromise.
Doesn't even like the word.
What I want is what I want. And if I believe that this is what I want, I believe what I want is what I get. What I want is what I attract.
Yeah.
Exactly. So don't settle. Don't. And then because you've also been mentioning it about marriage, you do not have to then lower all your standards because you want
to be a wife.
You want to be a wife, and then you now be miserable in it. And please, women, I'm also an advocate of women not marrying down. Don't marry someone you are older than. Do not marry someone that you have more money than. Because
age and wealth.
Age is included.
Yes. Age and wealth, because just like the last caller said, there are some things that the woman would do, and then you just, as a man, you feel emasculated. That, is it because you're older than me? Is it because you have money than me?
Probably feel that.
Exactly. And then maybe the woman just did the thing out without even thinking about it. But the first thing that will come to your mind is it because you have money than me? Is it because you're older than me? So it is a red flag as a woman. You should not. Men are already positioned to be the head. They are the leader. So let him lead, you follow. So
give him an opportunity to be the leader.
So,
but
that's just not a number again.
Yeah, no. Valid perspective. See,
I had.
Yes.
Let us take it away from there.
Different strokes for different folks, and she already mentioned that do you. So I think that do you ultimately covers everything, and the last opinion is her personal opinion. So if you are watching, take the one that suits you. Out of one of the things we have dropped on the table today. But one key thing is you must learn to study the trends.
Yeah.
If I've worked for many years, smart work as a makeup artist, and I would have to do a lot to get $1 million. And I realized that somebody called me and said, do real estate. Somebody called me and said, do real estate. Somebody called me and said, do real estate. Okay, I said, let me do real estate brand ambassador.
Let me try it.
And they brought me brand ambassador, signed contract, millions came in. I say,
wow.
Is this how
they do for here?
Do you understand? So you study the trends. Yeah. If you are a single lady and the trend is you are attracting good, very mature men, like far older, consistently. It's not anything, you know, it's not like you're going out of your way to do. But these people keep coming to you. Then look at it. This might be my path, and it's not lowering standard, it's not changing, it is about looking at it. Don't say, I know someone that she's in her 40s now, single. She's had several serious propositions from people from other regions. She's Yoruba.
She's insisting on Yoruba.
Her father has said she must marry Yoruba.
Wow.
Babe hasn't had a good relationship with a Yoruba person. She's missing out because she's thinking her husband is going to be Yoruba. What if he's not? If it is on the track of all the good relationships you've had, you've always dated, you've always attracted good non-Yoruba men and attracted Yoruba demons. Why do you suddenly think that by waiting longer, you will find the Yoruba good angel? Just go with the trend and follow, you know, because it will give you signal. Every life is telling us something, and if you miss it, you will remain in the same place. So it's telling you something, follow it. If it is younger people you are attracting, follow. If it is older people you are attracting, follow. So I shall know that you are conscious of what you are following. Because if you follow and you enter inside gutter, I was not the one that told you to enter there.
And whatever you follow, own your decisions at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So the fear is you do something. So I had a friend back in school, and she had to marry because the guy was taking care of her. The guy was providing for the family. She wasn't, so the guy was illiterate. But he was running businesses. Yes, he was. They had a family business that he was running, was traveling abroad and all of that. But he did not go to school in Kokon. And this girl was like the brightest in our class from secondary school. We met again in the university and all of that. But she had to settle because at the time her parents were really very poor. She needed somebody to pay her fees, somebody to do this, and before you realized it, I started hearing that she was getting married, and we had a conversation. I say, Auntie, why are you getting married? Why are you going ahead with this person? You've already told me all the flaws you are noticing. Say, but you know, once you graduate, now she was the last child. Yeah. Once you graduate, you're expected to marry, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, I'll make it work. And she's a very homely person, wonderful cook, very intelligent. Her English is impeccable. I cannot to explain, but she don't know that she had full stuff I talk about, you know. And then she got married. When she came for my wedding, I got married years after I finished school. I've, you know, lived my life and all of that. And finally I got married. And I got married to the boyfriend they knew in school. You know, when she came for my wedding, she was crying. So I felt the cry was the joy for me. You know, you're happy for me and all of that. Then later we had a conversation in the evening when everybody had gone, things had settled, we were moving to the hotel. And she was like, she wished she listened to me. That since she just didn't want to be calling me to tell me what had been happening, that since she entered that house, you see that giving she was even collecting ceased. I'm telling you, she has been struggling to even look good is a problem, even till today. She's still there. She's not living, no.
So I'm managing.
I'm telling you, she's been managing. Say, what will people say? What will people say? My parents are no more. How do I? You know, she's been in that pain. Every 3 to 4 months, she still calls to cry. I still counsel because I will not tell her to leave if she's not ready to leave that space. Now, what they realized was the money seized, the difference in perspective because she was educated and the other guy was not educated at all. The worldview is different. Like the day I visited I came home and I went to their house, immediately the man, she was entertaining us and everything, immediately the man came. My friend changed. That was the last day I went to her house. Once I come, I say, I'm in so place, come and meet me. I told myself and my husband, we cannot go there again. The atmosphere, immediately the man came back, the atmosphere, she was walking on eggshells. I was like, what? So sometimes those things that attract us is not what continues. So we must be very careful, and we must also listen to our intuition. Some people will say, listen to the Holy Spirit, you know, listen to your inner man, your higher self. However, you must listen to your gut feeling, you must listen to your intuition in making a marriage decision. So that you don't sit down after a few years and you're like, should I leave? Did I make a mistake? And that's when you now start thinking of what if I had followed this person, if I had followed that person, and all of that. We must be very, very careful. So our final advice before we wrap up. So the world at large, the world that is watching, for those of you that young boys are coming to meet, but you feel because of age I cannot.
You have set the standard.
How do we lower this standard a little? How do we, you know why I'm saying lower, not like lower standard. I loved tall, dark, and handsome. The dark guys never treated me well. I got tall, fair, and handsome.
I got try now too.
So sometimes, do we have to just bend a bit, or we just stay like Damola that no, nothing?
Well, when you have your checklist, I believe when you know what you want, you can immediately reject what you don't want when you see it. So when you have your checklist, if the man checks at least 7 out of 10, and the remaining 3 are not deal breakers for you, fine,
can go ahead.
By all means. But I'm just saying that you should not see the red flags and still put your head inside just because you want to be called a missus. For example, that's marrying down or marrying somebody that you are older than. You know, when Toby was saying that, okay, because now you're saying, but you said age is not it's just a number. Yes, age is just a number to say that it doesn't equate your level of wisdom and understanding. There are some older men, older people that act like babies. There are some younger people that are matured. But in a marriage, as a woman, you should not go for a man that you are older than. Or wiser than. Because he won't lead you. Your man is supposed to
be the visionary.
Exactly. And help you blossom, help you find your path.
You'll not be helping him.
Exactly, because it's the head and you are the neck. That was what
our mother told us.
Yeah, so you cannot be nurturing yourself and then still be nurturing another baby that you call a husband.
You better nurture the children.
You know, and then the roles will now be, exchanged. It's not good that way.
I think that we've shared a whole lot today, and my final words would be that when it comes to your life decision, you cannot abdicate it to anybody, not to your coach, not to your parents, not to your pastor. Your life decisions should be your responsibility. Be self-aware enough to make your decision and stand by your decisions. Don't go back and look in regret of what happened in the past. You can't change the past, but just move on and keep praying and hoping for the best. But take ownership. Is your journey, is your decision.
And should always try as much as possible to be in the present moment. Whatever the challenges of the present moment, if you're present, sweetheart, please, your final words.
We did not skip you, sorry.
We did skip you.
I'll go with Tope.
Okay.
Let the past go.
Yeah.
There's life ahead. Explore it, and until you forget the past,
you cannot move
and enjoy the future.
Amazing. I think we can wrap up on that. Thank you so much, ladies. It's been a wonderful show with you girls. And we'll see you again on Monday. Do have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye now.